Before we get into the video, what is composting? Composting is the controlled natural recycling of organic waste like food scraps and yard trimmings into a nutrient-rich soil amendment. Microorganisms, primarily bacteria, fungi, and acidomycetes, consume organic waste, breaking down complex chemical structures to extract energy and nutrients, ultimately converting raw materials into humus. A successful compost pile relies on a balance of nitrogen-rich greens such as food scraps and grass clippings, and carbon-heavy browns such as leaves, straw, and twigs.
There are still several ongoing problems regarding food waste that we need to address. For starters, excess moisture leads to foul odors. On the flip side, if the compost pile is too dry, too small, or simply lacks nitrogen, it'll be unable to fuel the microbes necessary for decomposition. In fact, if that bacteria goes dormant, the compost will look dry and brittle. We also have to watch what goes into the mix. People often compost things that shouldn't be composted, which ultimately attracts flies, mice, or other pests. This issue scales up too. Large-scale composting frequently leads to contamination through the throwing away of plastics and other non-degradable items.
Food loss and waste creates a significant greenhouse gas footprint due to the production, transportation, and processing where resources get wasted. When the food ends up in landfills, it also tends to create methane due to the anaerobic environment. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, food waste contributes to 170 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent greenhouse gas emissions each year.
Food waste has major consequences on food insecurity, as the amount of food wasted each year could feed about 2 billion people. Within the US, about 48 million people struggle with food insecurity. 30 to 40% of the US food supply is wasted. This equates to about 120 billion pounds of food. This could feed about 80 million people, however, it's wasted each year.
Food waste has many consequences on the habitat. Some positive ones include that it infuses degraded soil with vital nutrients and beneficial microorganisms. It also improves soil porosity, water retention, and prevents topsoil runoff. Some negative consequences are that unmanaged or open compost piles containing proteins, dairy, or cooked foods readily attract pests like rodents, raccoons, and insects, which can disrupt local food webs and create health hazards. Additionally, improper composting can leach toxins and microplastics into the surrounding soil and waterways, such as leaving non-compostable plastics, chemical herbicides, or diseased plants. Also, poorly aerated piles release strong volatile organic compounds and nuisance odors.
What can governments, businesses, and people do to fix the issue? First, businesses can implement composting bins along with recycling and landfill bins. They can color code each bin and label them, showing what is allowed in each section and what is not. The government can enforce stricter labeling laws, ensuring that compostable goods are labeled clearly and that biodegradable goods aren't actually thrown into the compost pile. And lastly, people can start a pile or bin at home, or even use drop-off services in their apartment complexes and employ specialized methods like bokashi composting for indoor use. Bokashi composting is an anaerobic fermentation process that uses beneficial microbes to pickle food waste. This is perfect for indoor spaces as it uniquely breaks down meat, dairy, and oily foods without attracting pests. The final fermented output must be buried in the soil or added to a traditional compost bin to fully mature.
The impact of food waste becomes very visible when we look at the destruction of our land use. According to Earth.org, agriculture already swallows up 11.5 million hectares of the global land surface. Whenever food is thrown away, every single hectare of precious land used to cultivate it is completely wasted as well. This unnecessary exploitation of agricultural space directly triggers severe soil erosion, stripping away our planet's limited arable land. Even worse, clearing forests to expand these inefficient farms drives rampant deforestation, permanently destroying vital natural habitats and biodiversity.
The Environmental Protection Agency has established the 2030 Food Loss and Waste Reduction Goal, which aims to cut food loss and waste in half by 2030. 5 U.S. states have laws banning large food generators from dumping food waste in landfills. Many organizations aim to reduce food waste by gathering and redistributing food that would have gone to waste.
Here are some solutions to common problems that people face when composting. One common problem is smell. To lessen the odor of a compost pile, people can lessen the amount of greens or food scraps in their pile by adding more browns like dry leaves, untreated cardboard, paper. Another problem is pests, and to lessen the risk of pests, they can take meat and dairy out or line their compost bin. To prevent them from entering from below, they can add cayenne pepper. Another problem is dryness, and to mitigate this, they can add water and mix their compost pile or build a cover that creates shades and prevents prevents water from leaving the compost pile.
That's all you need to know about composting. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to start a compost pile at home today.